Hi folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you a rather smart trade-in today, which is a Mitsubishi Shogun Sport. Now this is the Warrior specification, which means it's the top of the range with some lovely features such as a leather interior, fully working air conditioning, large alloy wheels, to name a few. Now the car itself is from 2003, and it is driving extremely well. It pulls well. It has a 2.5 turbo diesel engine. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox, and if you drive it like a saint, you can hit almost 30 mpg, but at all other times I would budget for about 25 mpg. Now it does have high and low ratios with a manual knob, and it is rather good at using off-road as well. And as you can tell, with some of the features that's been added to it, it would probably make a very good off-road vehicle. Now the previous owner had treated it to a rather expensive set of all-terrain tyres, which are BF Goodrich, and they are a matching set of 4. They're all less than about 1,000 miles on them, and they're all virtually as new, so that's a definite feature of this vehicle. It has also had a snorkel added, which is brand new, and it does make it look rather snazzy in my opinion. It's got quite a costly roof rack, which is I think an adventurer type. It does have a couple of spotlights bolted on. I don't think they're actually wired up, but I'm sure they could be. But it does give the vehicle quite a muscular look. Now it is the longer wheelbase, therefore a 5-door, not a 3-door model. It is super comfy to drive. It is equipped with a tow bar. And I mentioned the 2.5 turbo diesel engine, which is depicted by the little badge on the side. Now I told you it was a top line model, so let's show off the rather plush leather seats, a leather trimmed steering wheel. I mentioned it has fully working air conditioning. It's a hot day today, so I can vouch for that working. It's got Mitsubishi Warrior carpet mats. Now the rear windows have actually been have got a dark tint to them, which does help keep out the heat. And as you can see, that leather seating is rather nice, running all the way through, a nice headlining, and it has a load cover on the back. Because it's the long wheelbase model, obviously 2 rows of seats and quite a generous boot space as well, which is here, and I think you are treated to a bit of extra storage space here and there. And a plug in the back, and there's your tow bar. It's got a pair of plugs on there, so maybe at some point this could be used for a caravan tow vehicle as well. Now we haven't had to tarp this one up. It came into us very clean. I've noticed it's got side steps down here, and some of the other features I've actually made a note of what the Warrior gives you. This one's got the nickname of Muck, which I guess goes quite well with the whole 4-wheel drive off-road theme. So yeah, the car was registered in 31st of July 2003. The 2.5 turbo diesel engine produces 114 brake horsepower. You can do 450 miles on a full tank, and it notes here 27 to 30 miles per gallon is the most you could expect from this one, and it weighs in at 1,840 kilos. The car comes with the handbook, in fact the little plastic leather folder from the dealer, and a service book which was stamped up when the vehicle was new. But I can tell you the previous owner has told me that in his time he's fitted a brand new battery, a new starter motor, it had a turbo actuator, a major service, and a set of tyres and some of these accessories. He's spent a fair bit on the car to get it up to scratch. He was using it regularly. It's not in the highest tax bracket, for those wondering, and the Warrior specification means air conditioning, alloy wheels, a CD player, front fog lamps, leather seats, metallic paint, roof rails and sport seats. I think that's run over the major notes that I've made here, but most importantly, it actually starts and drives very well. Now, the car itself has MOT through to February 2024, so from when I'm making this video, it's still got plenty of MOT left on it. Now, the only area which I think has had a little touch up has been this area here, and they are known for collecting a bit of moisture on these wheel arches, so they tend to rust in this area. This one's been primed up, so it doesn't look like it's going to be getting much worse. But other than that, I will show you around the vehicle. There's a bit of paint missing off the front bumper here, but the rest of the front looks pretty good. A little bit of paint off the bumper there. Some minor scuffing on the front, but nothing major. A good front wing and bonnet, as is the driver's door, as in the passenger door, with some a little minor scuff here, nothing too awful. Nice and smart on this rear panel. The back bumper looks like it has a little bit of paint that's come off of this threshold seal. There's a little bit of folding up to the tinted rear glass, but again, I got in very closely to show you that. I mentioned the tow bar. It's had a little bit of a scuff here on the back, but again, nothing terrible. It looks like it's got rear parking sensors, which I hadn't noticed before. This rear panel is in good order, as is this passenger side near side door and front door, and the wing with a little repair that I showed you. The alloy wheels actually are really smart. It does have, let's have a look at the size of the wheels. They look quite a decent size. Yeah, 18-inch alloy wheels, and those less than 1,000-mile BF Goodrich tyres fitted. I know it's very clean under the bonnet as well. People always ask to see under the bonnet of cars these days, so let's not deny them. And for the price point of this car, I think you'll be very impressed with just how nicely it drives and how well it goes. Obviously, being a 2.5, it's not going to be flying down the road like a V8 petrol, but considering it's MPG, it's pretty reasonable. There's that new battery, and you can see from how clean it is under the bonnet. That's usually a sign of a well-maintained car. That's the intercooler that's sat on top, and that's the intercooler scope in the scoop, I should say, in the bonnet. I think this new pipe may have something to do with some of the areas that was repaired. It may have had an EGR valve, and that looks like the turbo actuator down there. A chain-driven engine, actually, these. And just generally nice under the bonnet. You don't usually see them looking as clean as that. Certainly no sign of oil, and a sign of a nice recent filter, because I know this car had a major service. So she's good to go. We're based in North Hampshire, near Basingstoke on the M3, or Whitchurch on the A303 or A34. We can arrange UK transportation. Now, this is a heavier vehicle, so I either have to go on a big trailer or a 7.5 ton truck because of the towing limits of smaller trucks, or you would just drive it away. We are open 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, viewing strictly by appointment only, because we do have our cars stored away in about 4 different locations, and this one is good to go. Having driven it myself today, all the cars will go through our workshop to have a once over and make sure that they're good for the journey home. So I can't think of a great deal more to add to this walk around video. I'm not sure if I mentioned it has 118,000 miles, which I think is quite respectable for the age. Nice smart leather gear knob. There's your high four-wheel drive and low ratio button, so you can drive it around in two-wheel drive probably most of the time for economy, and then to four-wheel drive as and when required. There's your air conditioning and CD radio there. And the Warrior spec, as I mentioned, does give you this rather plush leather trim, electric windows, electrically adjusted mirrors, extra speakers like tweeters in the doors, that sort of thing. and it is just in good condition. I don't think this one's had a hard life, and I think it's ready to serve its purpose as a inexpensive 4x4 with good old Japanese reliability. Well folks, this is Danny at Bruddy James Classics signing out.